I'm going to be honest. This episode is like 10 episodes in. I'm going to be honest. This week was absolute terrible.
Yeah, there wasn't anything to it really. It felt like a mid-season drag out.
Yeah, and we obviously had the break. We obviously with WrestleMania and stuff like that. But I was really looking forward, to this one and stuff like that. But watching the
Yes.
show as a whole, man, it was really disappointing for me.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that BJ's still there as well because you guys are total tool.
Well, we'll obviously talk about that and stuff like that, Annie. But yeah, I mean, episode 10, which was expect the unexpected and stuff like that.
Was
It's
it?
it's kind of interesting because we know that happens in life as well.
Yeah, was it 10 or 11? I can't remember.
This is episode 10.
Okay.
Yep, I think we've got like another 6 episodes after this and stuff like that. But yeah, episode 10 review and stuff like that. A little catch up and always roll the intro. In it, it's been an absolute always pleasure in your presence, man. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Good, good. Busy week?
Busy, Bumblebee.
Yeah, I mean, I know so we've been really, really quiet, obviously, in the chats and stuff like that, because it's just been one of those weeks.
It has been. It has been.
But is it work usual or just everything in general?
It's just been manic. Absolutely manic.
Yeah, I get the feeling stuff like that. But like I said before we came on the air and stuff like that, I'm obviously quite proud. Obviously, there's things we've obviously done this week. With all the shows.
Yeah, it's been really good and it's good positive stuff to be coming out and you know being able to do the watch alongs thing is really cool. I'm looking forward to continuing to do that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we obviously pre-record them obviously on the Sunday. We drop them every Wednesday and stuff like that. So people watching, you want to send us a match. It doesn't matter where it's from in any scene and stuff like that. We'll watch it. We'll critique it.
yep.
But in it, the thing is with that now, and obviously I don't mind spoiling this and stuff like that. We obviously did Hannah Taylor's match stuff like that. We dropped it on the Wednesday. She will be on the show coming soon.
Wow, that is awesome.
It is, and like I said, do you know what I mean? It's an incredible story. If you've not seen it, go check it out and stuff like that. And I just can't wait. Like I said, I'm not quite sure when she's coming. She has obviously agreed to come, but once obviously that's down to herself. I've gave her the platform and stuff like that. Just waiting for her basic reply.
Mm-hmm.
And then show for 3 happens on the first, ain't it? And well, that was a really fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was, mate. So we obviously
Did
did
you? What was it? What was it? What was it? Some interesting scenario came out of that from what occurred.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously 3 people came on the show, photographers in wrestling and stuff like that. But I didn't realize, and when obviously I was booking the show and stuff like that the actual hero of one of the photographers was also on the show as well. So I bet that was nicely.
Well, that was pretty cool.
It definitely was and stuff like that. Again, that's obviously all on the challenge stuff. Go check it out. The next obviously show for 3 is obviously May the 30th. We'll be dropping the details for that tomorrow and stuff like that. But we're not talking about that, Henny. We're talking about LFG.
LFG. Yep.
Can you believe it? We're 10 episodes in this now.
10 episodes in, yes.
But like I said, we had a WrestleMania break and stuff like that. So we've got quite a lot to get into and stuff. So let's get into it, mate, shall we?
Let's dive into it, yeah.
Absolutely. So we know the teams. We don't need to go through that and stuff like that. But we start the show with a match. Cutler James and BJ Ray. This is obviously the fallout from obviously what happened last week. And I've got to be honest with you, mate, I can't even critique this match because I just thought this was awful.
Awful.
Is that the best you can say?
Ironically, Cutler's part of that dark state at the moment, so yeah. I think
it was pretty interesting.
Sorry?
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So do you think with this obviously show as a whole, the show's called Expect the Unexpected, but we even said this last week. We saw what was coming with this.
This is booked from week 1. We automatically seen. Do you know what it reminds me of? What was it, TNA Boot Camp, where they did this similar sort of thing with Grado, you know, where they had like turning up late, and Al's not told him to fuck off.
Yeah, it was too predictable for me. This,
Yeah,
and I just don't know what to believe in and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you can't even really call this a match. It was just the one person were blown out. It's like there was. You could tell based on watching that they didn't like each other.
yeah, and yeah, it, it felt like it made the program feel like it was scripted.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's what reality TV is a bit blurring that line, but yeah, it was if like Cutler was just there until like they cut this angle. He was never going to be there at the end.
No, exactly, and stuff like that. But we know obviously what happened with the fallout from this match. They essentially had to do it again. But what was the stipulation, Annie?
Oh no, it slipped my mind. The stipulation was, what was it? Whoever wins, what was it? And impresses stays, and the other one goes.
There you go. But the thing is, I mean, if you think about this overall, we'll obviously get into the match later on. I kind of knew the result from this because what happened over Mania week, you saw that this person was obviously picturing with the LFG crowd and stuff like that. So for me, this did not feel like it was unpredictable. This seemed too predictable.
Yeah, and they've focused on him. The fact that he was injured and he was still kicking about with the cameras and all that, in reality, if that was the case, he would have been told to do one, So, yeah, it,
Yeah.
it sort of it sort of took the shine off the program a little bit for me. Not being super negative about it, but yeah,
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, it's just one other thing. We'll obviously get into the match later on and stuff like that. But the theme this week is obviously expect the unexpected. And when you think about it in wrestling, things do happen on the fly. I mean, the prime example is obviously lights cutting out, the crowd kicking off, just little things like that.
yep. The Young Bucks having shit matches and everybody going pretending that they're good, stuff like that.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So each match obviously gets announced, and everyone's going to have something's going to happen in the match, but they don't know actually what, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, and you sort of see how to sort of play into it and how they react.
There you go, and stuff like that. But the thing is, nobody actually knows. Do you know what the thing is? It's just going to see what happens.
Yes.
So obviously, all matches get announced and stuff like that. So there's not really much to go with on this actual show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a weird concept. I didn't really take to it at all.
No, exactly, and stuff like that. So the match is obviously get announced and stuff. So the first match was Tiny May Steel for Team Taker versus Leah Laurel and stuff like that. And at some point in the match, the ring breaks, and we see that all. I think I've seen it quite a few times. I've never been at a show where I see it, but I was kind of curious to see how they'd handle this.
Yeah, but was it what was it called? But was it? I think Leah says it was tougher than she thought. As well. What was it? I think a few of the legends made remarks that's happened to them.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. I mean, but was it these things that happen in wrestling legitimately and storyline wise? The book certain things. So it's all about how you deal with it, the situation. But I think they dealt with it pretty well, both of them.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, I want to talk about Tyra and stuff like that because I feel like for me, and I hate to admit this and stuff like that, but I don't feel like she's progressing.
Yeah, it was it felt like the ones that are shining, and you get the impression now that the ones that are shining and the ones that aren't shining. So it's difficult.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I said, I mean, when I watched this match, it felt like it was a little bit slow for me. Do you know the pace wise?
Yeah, ironically, it was only a couple of minutes long, but yeah, it felt like it was dragging. You know, so it's difficult, isn't it, to sort of see how it goes and things. But yeah, it didn't really take to this sort of thing at all. It took me out of the match actually because you knew that something was coming, but when it happened, you were like, oh, that's what it is.
I think
You
if they'd
know.
have said like something's going to happen, but don't tell the audience, I feel like that'd be a bit more interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
But who knows and stuff like that. So Taker thinks they handled the rope break pretty well, but they needed to take a step back before going forward. Booker says they did better once the rope broke. Tyra felt that the match was better than her tag match, saying where she is. She thought it was good. He tells Tyra she's taking a step back, and Leah isn't taking any steps forward. Bubba calls Tyra out for rolling her eyes, but she tells Confession she was just looking up. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to think of that last little thing.
Yeah. What was it? Bubba's team are a strange one because I thought he would be the one that was the total sort of like micromanager sort of, but he's so relaxed, you know. But I don't know if it's just to get their attitude or what, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know, man, stuff like that. But after that, obviously, we got Drake, Monroe for Team Bubba versus Troy Yu for Team Mickey. I do obviously felt sorry for like Drake after what happened last week and stuff like that. So I was really looking forward to see, do you know what happened here?
Yeah, that was him getting chucked out the match, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he got chucked it out for obviously, but it was like a wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
So, and the interesting thing is with this, and I've obviously got to follow up with this, was they get basically extra time during the match. So towards the 4 minute mark, they get told they get 3 extra minutes. Now, this is going to be interesting because I'm always curious to see what's going to happen if you get 3 extra minutes.
This is something that's never happened in WWE ever.
Well, we'll talk about that, and obviously I've got to follow. Obviously, I did reach out to a few people about this, but yeah, what did you think?
I mean, you can understand it. What was it? Like, it could probably throw off your momentum as well because you need to shift you need to shift the finish, you know, and fill that spot in. But then you've got to make sure this is when you determine the sort of good ring leaders because this is the point where you need to create spots and not lose the crowd.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense and stuff like that. Now, I said obviously I reached out to a couple of people, obviously who I know during wrestling, to ask them about this, and I asked referee Rich Swift, you know, who obviously did work for NXT and stuff like that, and he did say this is not uncommon, but it's very, very, very rare.
Yeah.
And then I obviously went and asked Stevie Aaron, obviously I'm good friends with, and he said that most of the time they'll like do an in-ring promo or like, you know, work around it if they need extra time. So well, I feel like this minute wings thing's like an extra thing.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, the big league guys like in the WWE, the fact that they've got the television, they've got ad breaks as well, and you work so you sort of see it. They sort of work through it now. What was it? Now that they're on Netflix, you know, and what was it? Some of that just gets shown straight over on the international ones, but what was it? In the past, if you'd went to like a WWE show, you could tell when the ad breaks were on because they were just fanning about.
Yeah. Oh, do you remember when it were like the COVID season and stuff like that? And actually, they were like took like break, just like stood around.
Yeah, they just stood around. It was totally ridiculous. Like,
that was funny.
Stop.
You just had to have a quick drink break and stuff like that. Carry on. It was weird. Honest to God, it was really, really weird. But what do you think of this match?
It was all right. Again, nothing exciting. It was that really stood out. You know, obviously they had the knee thing, which was sort of don't think went down too well. Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, the thing is, when they got actually 3 extra minutes, it was kind of curious to see what they're going to do with stuff like that. And I think everyone got pissed off at the fact that Drake threw him out the ring.
Yeah, that was sort of laziness, wasn't it? It's like, yeah.
It's like, what were you doing? It literally was. It's like, what? Do you know what I mean? What were you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, you're absolutely spot on. For me, these two matches following on, it's just like, I'm not really sure about these two.
Yeah. It sounds like we've been super negative, and to be honest, I didn't rate most of the stuff in this episode either. You know, it felt a bit off. I felt about that they were filling time just to get to the BJ and Cutler thing.
You reckon? Yeah, I'd have to agree with that and stuff like that, but which is kind of sad because we kind of like covered quite a few episodes and stuff like that, and there've been some really good ones. Let's be honest.
Yep. Yep.
But we'll see. Right, so one obviously match is mixed tag match: Chris Island for Team Mickey and Penina Julie for Team Booker versus Xena Sterling for Team Bubba and Shiloh Hill. I mean, after this first two matches, do you know what I mean? This one was absolute. I actually really enjoyed this one. I'm going to be honest, and I actually loved the fact that I think Xena tagged herself in, or somebody did, and just absolute KO'd Chris.
Yeah.
That was just brilliant.
You know, what was it? I think Booker really liked Chris Island, but not Booker. What was it? No, yeah, Booker. Obviously, he's in Mickey's team, but
Yep.
what was it called? I mean, what was it? Xena's came a long way, and what was it? You know, I think Shiloh is like going to be a top name. You know, in NXT. You know, so what was it called? There's too many of the Chris Islands in the WWE roster at the moment. I think. You know.
Yeah, you kind of looking for something like unique to stand out.
Yeah, you know, and what was it? What was it? What was it? The P Nasty.
Yeah, P Nasty. Let's not forget that one.
Yes. What was it called? Yeah. Nah, it wasn't me. You know, but it was good to see. It was good to see the Rings of Saturn. You know, big up to Perry Saturn. What a wrestler he was.
Yeah, absolutely, he was and stuff like that. And like I said, I mean, even when the lights went out, I thought I think they'll handle that pretty well. So for me, I mean, I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah. Usually when the WWE do lights out match, it turns into like a weird sort of psychedelic Mountain Dew. What was it? Multicolor. Remember that? That's what the Bray and the Early Night match was.
Yeah.
It, like lights out, and it turned out it was some sort of like psychedelic LSD trip.
Yeah, it definitely was and stuff like that. I want to point out, obviously, the thing is with Undertaker, because he seemed really grumpy this week. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be very happy, did he?
No,
was,
not at all.
What was it? Really getting torn in, you know.
Well, the thing is, it's like you said. I mean, as the weeks progress, they are going to get more critique.
Well, they should. It's a competitive sport. This what was it? Nicey approach that everybody takes. Just is bullshit, you know. I don't like it at all. And hopefully, what was it in the future? What was it? Yeah, we'll see more of that because I like seeing people getting involved.
So after these three matches, we obviously know that the loser leaves town, like Cutler and BJ match. That's not going to get any points and stuff because I feel like that'd be a bit unfair anyway. But the two team people who got the awarded points was Shiloh and Xena. I've got to be honest, I have to 100% agree based on this week.
Yep, I can't argue with that at all. Can't argue that at all.
No, definitely so. And you said Xena there. I feel like she's the most improved because she said it. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people were off at the start. Even I did, I will be honest, by the way. But as weeks have progressed, I mean, she's proven a lot of people wrong and stuff like that. She's great in the ring. And I feel like if she does win it, I feel like that she could go far.
No, she definitely could. You know, I think that's going to be the case. I think she is going to go far. If anybody's a superstar, she's a superstar.
Would you say that she's the top woman star in LFG?
I would say in terms of the coaches and things, that I think Bailey is phenomenal. You know, just things like that. But I would say Xena's probably the top name.
I think also, like I said, Danny Sikelski is obviously somebody who I like and stuff. So yeah, that's my top three: Sikelski, Bailey, as you mentioned, there, and Xena.
Yep.
But like I said, and stuff like that. Now, let's get to the loser leaves town, shall we? Cutler James and BJ Ray. We obviously know one's going to win, one's going to lose. I've got to be honest, I actually preferred Cutler James in this one. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he was really, really good and stuff like that. I just cannot, for me as a fan, get behind the whole BJ thing. Do you know, even his like in ring.
He's just a wanker. That's plain and simple. You know, and I know that's what his character is, but you know, they do these. They've got Grayson Waller. Like you don't need another idiot. You know.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think you've probably summed that up pretty well, to be honest. Straight to the point.
Yeah. What was it? Let's go, BJ. BJ sucks. Oh God.
Yeah, it probably would do stuff like that, but obviously BJ gets the win and stuff like that. But again, like I said, I mean, for me, I've kind of tuned out after this because, like I said, I mean, thing is with this BJ thing and stuff like that, he's done nothing in the show. I know he's been injured and stuff like that, which wants me to get behind him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think he's going to win it, unfortunately.
I don't know. I mean, I still think Charlotte Hill.
Yeah, I've got a bad feeling BJ's going to win it.
Let's just see, shall we? Do you know what I mean? We'll never obviously know.
You know, what's his name? And it's not. Oh, what's his name? Um, it's not even. He's not even. It's not even a wrestler. But you know, what was it? DJ Quills? You know, the guy from like Road Trip and things like that. And
I vaguely know, yes.
he was supernatural and things. You know.
Mm-hmm.
He did an interview recently, and he was talking about like auditioning for Big Bang Theory and Sheldon, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he says like they went, what was it? They went through like 6 weeks of intense auditions and all that, getting sort of like training and guidance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? He says that like one of the last days they were doing auditions, but was it the thing we stood up who got the role of Sheldon? What was his name now? God, his name's out of my head.
I'm not too sure. And I
Jim,
can picture
Jim,
him, but I don't know his name.
Jim Pierce. But anyways, it turned into the writer. Chuck and says, "But was it, I'm not getting this role?" And Chuck turns around and says, "Like you never were. You were the ringer." You
Fuck's
know,
sake.
and basically it was they wanted a credible name, you know, in there in the auditions because that's what they do, you know. And what was it? And it just makes you wonder how much that goes on in life, you know. So he talks about why he never does these sort of auditions anymore, you know, because it's a waste of time. But
No, he definitely is and stuff like that. I
when
have to agree.
when it looks like somebody's going to get that role or's got the part, then there's no point in participating, you know, unless something drastic happens. But
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's the case here. I think BJ is going to win it. I've said it since day one. Of LFG, I thought he was going to win it just to be representing him, but hopefully not.
We'll see anyway. But yeah, I mean, obviously, coaches got their input and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And
yeah, and
maybe,
I'm going to say, and they're going to stick about anyway because Cutler's part of the Dark State now, so he's on NXT television. So, what was it? They're talking about they're presenting this like a what was it? A winner gets an NXT contract. Well, we all already know there's a few that have appeared on NXT, so we all know that they've already had got contracts, you know. So
who's appearing? I only know, obviously, the Cutler one.
there's Cutler, what was it? What was it? A few of them appeared with Taker in that on NXT
Did they?
the other week. Was it? Was it? Yeah, yeah.
I need to.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll find the clip and I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I need to have a look at that because I weren't too sure.
Let's see if I can find it while we talk. LFG. La, 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 la. Yep, it turned up. There we go.
Just send me the clip.
I'm just sharing the clip with you. 2 seconds. I'll just copy the link and then I'll just get it sent over to you.
Okay. Because I didn't even know about this, but this is obviously new to me.
Yeah. What was it called? This was in NXT on Tuesday.
It says you're sending it, but
It says I'm sending it.
oh,
There we
there we
go.
go. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. Have a quick gander. Well, I've got a bit of time. Right, so he's talking to Obafemi, right?
Yep.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So some nice picks there.
I didn't expect that. He did obviously name them as well. Do you know who they actually are?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yep.
Right. Okay. That's really from my mind. Let's get back on track and stuff like that, Annie. So let's just get to the point, shall we? We know that Booker, Bobby basically sends a couple home and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it's what he tells him which really gets me. He's like,
Yes.
if you screw up, I'm going to hold the door for you. I'm like, well, it should be just going anyway.
Yeah, it should be. They should have been told to shacky quacky fuck off by Booker T would say.
basically do one.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. It's really a poor week, but we know the point score obviously now as followed. Team Taker's in lead with 7, Team Booker's got 5, and Team Mickey and Team Bubba has got 3. So this sounds really interesting for 4th.
Yep, yeah, but considering Team Bubba had no points. Nil point.
But let's not mention that, do you know what I mean? Zena's obviously the one who's earned, I think she's earned them all.
Yep.
All 3.
Yep.
So we'll obviously see. Hopefully, like I said, the next episode, episode 11, which is obviously airs tomorrow as we're recording this.
Yep.
It's a lot better. I don't know actually the theme because I've not seen it.
The theme is character building, I think. So they give themselves a persona.
Okay, that'll be interesting. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, guys, thanks ever so much for watching. We'll obviously be back in, what, half an hour, Annie?
Yep, half an hour.
Half an hour as we're talking about Chikara for our Wrestling Industry Series Season 2. Annie, any final words?
Enjoy the weekend.
Okay, cheers for watching, guys.